Morning, everybody, or evening, depending on your point of view. You know, I decided to make this video because, like right now, I got a broker harassing me because I'm doing my job right. I refuse to talk to our brokers. One of our biggest problems in trucking is actually brokers. I let my dispatcher deal with them. But I'm sitting 2.5 hours away from my 3 a.m. appointment. It's currently 10:30, which means if I leave right now, I'll be there at 1 o'clock. My plan is to be there about 2 o'clock, which is the proper way to plan. You plan to be at your stop an hour ahead of schedule. Our appointment is for 3 a.m. Unfortunately, because the way the government has our hours of service set up, everything in this whole industry is so confusing, and brokers refuse to learn the hours of service. They're supposed to know these hours of service, and they're supposed to understand the rules so that they understand what's going on and why things happen the way they happen. I've been running on my recap. For anybody in the trucking industry, you understand what that means. For anybody outside the trucking industry, it's just a big debacle that the government put in place to make my job harder than it has to be. Basically, the government tells everybody we're allowed to work 14 hours a day, but then they turn around and say, well, no, actually they're allowed to drive 11 hours a day. But then actually they turn around and they tell the truck driver who drives over the road, no, actually you're only allowed to work 8 hours a day. And so it creates this great big massive confusion. Because every single day that I'm on the road, I am working. I do not get a day off while I am on the road. This means since I've been on the road since December 26th, I have not had a single day off. The government likes to say, well, actually, he's done a reset here and there, so he has had a day off. No, I have not had a day off since December 26th, because if I'm out here on the road, I am working. The problem with being on the road is the only time I am making money is when the truck is moving. But because the government makes all these crazy ass rules to make life as complicated as possible, they tell the brokers, well, yeah, he's allowed to work 14 hours a day. They tell my dispatcher, well, he's allowed to work 11 hours a day. And then they tell me, well, no, actually you're allowed to work 8 hours a day, because I'm only allowed to work 70 hours over 8-day period, which equates to 8 hours a day. But they're telling everybody else all these other things. And so it just makes all these conflicting, and everybody bumps heads. But since I've been working on my recap, we've been running a tight schedule, and we wound up falling behind because of traffic issues. And then I don't know if it's my system or it just doesn't make sense the way this thing calculates my recap. It tells me even right now, it's telling me I got 21 hours available, but I'm actually only I only got an hour and a half to drive up until midnight. And then I'm supposed to get 8 hours and 53 minutes left, but God knows what it's going to give me. Because the day before I was supposed to get 11 hours and 35 minutes, and it gave me 6 hours and 28 minutes. Yesterday I was supposed to get 6 hours and 15 minutes, or today I was supposed to get 6 hours, or yesterday I was supposed to get 6 hours and 15 minutes, but it gave me 11 hours and 35 minutes, or 45 minutes, 11 hours and 45 minutes. And then today I was supposed to get 9 hours and 23 minutes, but it gave me 8 hours and 32 minutes. So I don't know. It makes absolutely no sense. And because I'm not running a paper log and I can only go back so many days, I can't figure out what it's calculating for my recap. I can't figure it out at all because it don't let me go back any more than 8 days on my logs to begin with. So, but brokers can't, brokers claim that they want safe drivers out here. But obviously they don't want safe drivers out here, because when we follow the rules, they get pissed off. When we follow schedules, they get pissed off. When we do what we're supposed to do, they get pissed off. And then they want us to be renegades, to break all the rules and make things happen and do things for absolutely no reason at all. Like right now, I got this broker harassing me, wanting me to get there as soon as possible for a 3 a.m. appointment. Well, why am I going to get there at midnight for a 3 a.m. appointment? That makes absolutely no sense at all. If I have to be there at 3 a.m., if nobody's going to be there until 3 a.m. to start unloading this truck, why am I going to be there at midnight? That means I'm going to do nothing but start my clock early, sit there, and then wait till 3 a.m. to be unloaded, and then not have time to get back to where I need to be in the morning to be able to get my reset in so that I could pick up my load Sunday, which probably I'm not even going to be able to get my reset in, because then that means that because the load picks up Sunday and I got to be in North Carolina Tuesday, I'm probably still not going to get my reset in, but hopefully I'll at least be sitting enough hours to get my recap to cooperate with me till I get there. But if you're a broker and you're watching this, this is the dilemma. You either want us to follow rules or you don't want us to follow rules. If you don't want us to follow rules, then you need to tell the dispatcher right off the top, I need renegades driving for me. This way my dispatcher knows that I'm not going to be driving for you. Because this is my license, not your license. It's my livelihood, not your livelihood. If I go out there and break all these rules, as bad as they are, I agree. The rules absolutely suck. I'm either allowed to work 14 hours a day or I'm allowed to work 8 hours a day, and the government needs to make up their mind. I completely agree. I am not arguing this one single bit. Or I need to be allowed to work 11 hours. The government needs to make up its fucking mind which of the 3 hours a day I am allowed to drive. Am I allowed to work 8 hours a day, 11 hours a day, or 14 hours a day? I completely agree. And once the government makes up its mind and says, well, yeah, you are allowed to work this many hours a day, then everything will be simplified and we will have a lot less issues. But until the government corrects this 70-hour rule problem, you have to deal with the same issues that I have to deal with. And I'm not breaking the rules so you can make some money off of my hardships.